There are still some people, even though everything is burning down around us, cannot see the flames, cannot feel the smoke or smell the smoke that is emanating from everywhere, and understands that it's not just the libtards, right? It's not just the lefties that are being impacted, but it's all of us.
All of you libtards and lefties, Democrat Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett of Texas. Texas should maybe think about doing something about her. The Democratic Party is a problem. Been a long time since I rock and roll. I gotta say, yeah, the local news in New York now covering the story on the subway, and I'm actually leaving out the most gruesome details thus far. But police are looking for Carlos Garcia, who looks like an illegal alien. And after he apparently the homeless man on the train, they watched him die, didn't say anything about it, didn't do anything about it. And Carlos Garcia decided it'd be a good opportunity first to rob the dead man and then to sexually assault the dead man in myriad ways. And then when he was done, he walked away, and another guy in another yellow hoodie came along and robbed him again. New York is not a civilized city. I think we should ask it to leave the United States of America. But it's just amazing. So we got Carlos Garcia, then the guy, a morbidly obese black guy who looks like he's in his 20s, right, in the yellow, with the yellow hoodie with a black baseball cap. But wait a minute, the first guy had a yellow hoodie and a dark blue Los Angeles Dodgers baseball cap. Second guy has a yellow hoodie and a black baseball cap. And he said, hey, look what I just saw. Wonder if he's got anything I could steal. And one thing's for sure, both of them are Democrats in good standing with the Democrat Party. Just amazing stuff. Womp, womp, womp. Now, also today, what are we calling it? The war on tariff. The war on tariff. Because the Democrats, they want to make sure that every trade agreement we have with another country favors the other country and not the United States of America, because they're not on our side. But China, communists, biggest murderers in the history of the world, the Chinese communists. China ups tariffs to 125%. But folks at the White House see China's signaling that will hold off on further retaliation as a sign of President Trump's tough tariffs strategy working. See, it's working because that's the Chinese like, oh, yeah? What are you going to do? Of course, we have the most powerful economy, the most desirable economy. If you're an exporter of cheap Chinese slave labor made stuff, then the United States is your number one market. And you're not much of a country if the United States is not one of your markets, because we have all the money. But the Democrats are working on that, too, bankrupting us and everything else. Wah, wah, wah. Also, the Doge people still looking at government waste and government fraud and government abuse. And the Democrat Party is entirely in favor of government waste, government fraud, and government abuse. They're perpetrating a great deal of it, perhaps not all of it, but certainly a great deal of it. And the headline today, Doge reveals bizarre findings of unemployment insurance claims. And in quotes, this is so crazy. I had to read it several times before it sank in, Elon Musk said. Isn't that amazing? And great stuff. The people at the Fox News station, they've got Fox News Channel. The Department of Government Efficiency, Doge, account on X raised eyebrows, raising findings from the survey of unemployment insurance claims. The initial survey of unemployment insurance claims since 2020 found that thousands of people with future birth dates claimed benefits. Wait a minute, what's that? So your date of birth has not happened yet, therefore you have not been born, but you are collecting unemployment insurance. Is that what they found? Yes, it is. The survey also indicated that thousands of supposedly very young and very old people had claimed benefits as well. But how can that be? That's kind of peculiar, isn't it? I think that's amazing. So the Department of Government Efficiency posting on X, which is owned by the head of the Department of Government Efficiency, Twitter, that'd be Elon Musk. They write, a survey of unemployment insurance claims since 2020 revealed that 24,500 people over the age of 115 years claimed $59 million in benefits. So wait a minute, they're over 115 years old and they're collecting unemployment insurance, and nobody in the government red flagged it and said, hey, this could be a problem, until Doge came along. Also found that 28,000 people between the ages of 1 year old and 5 years old, they claimed $254 million in benefits. Wait a minute. People under the age of 5, from 1 year old to 5 years old, 28,000 people, 5 years old and younger, claimed more than $250 million in unemployment benefits. Isn't that amazing? Yes, it is. And they found that, 9,700 people with birth dates over 15 years in the future claimed $69 million in benefits. Wait a minute, your date of birth will occur in 15 years, and you're claiming unemployment benefits. Sure.
We anticipate savings in FY26 from reduction of waste and fraud by $150 billion. And that means, and some of it is just absurd, like people getting unemployment insurance who haven't been born yet.
People who haven't been born yet collecting unemployment insurance. People that are over 115 years old claiming tens of millions of dollars in unemployment benefits. And if we had a news media, they would be alarmed by this. But the only thing they're alarmed by is that anyone would look at this, that anyone would investigate this, that anyone would suggest that there is a problem here. Aren't they amazing? Yes, they are. Boy, oh boy. Our media, and that's again, the media is an engorged extension of the Democrat Party overwhelmingly, and they're not well. They ride the New York City subways and don't see anything wrong, and they might pick over the dead body of a homeless man that died on the subway train, and then you don't even want to know the rest. Also, the people at Breitbart News, the Breitbart News Agency, Black Americans throw support behind massive migrant detention facility that Democrats seek to shut down because they're on the side of illegal aliens and not African Americans. An organization representing Black Americans is throwing its support behind the reopening of a massive migrant detention facility in Newark, New Jersey. That might be cruel and unusual punishment, I think, for them. Meanwhile, Democrats are using the courts to try to get the facility shut down. A letter from Sherman Leah, the National Association of Blacks in Criminal Justice, exclusively reviewed by Breitbart News, urges Newark Mayor Raz Baraka to drop his opposition to the reopening of Delaney Hall, a facility that will be able to hold up to 1,000 criminal illegal aliens for the Immigration and Customs Enforcement people, ICE. As the president of the National Association of Blacks in Criminal Justice, I'm writing to express our support and highlighting the critical impact of the redevelopment project at Delaney Hall. Leah writes, the mayor, Baraka, sounds like Barack Obama, doesn't it, except, with a transgender twist, who's running as the far-left Democrat in the crowded New Jersey governor's race. They want illegal aliens that are criminals loose on the streets because they're Democrats. And isn't that amazing? And now, as a black law group, and Leah has to come forward and say, no, reopen Delaney Hall, where we can detain 1,000 illegal alien criminals. And the Democrats who are running for governor are like, no, we want them to kill you. We want them on New York City subway trains taking advantage of the dead. Aren't they amazing? Yes, they are. The Democrat Party is sicker than usual today. It's not me. I'm not looking for the sickest stories. These are just falling through the ceiling tiles because we've got Democrats in the ceiling tiles. How did they get there? Man, oh, man. I am telling you. I haven't even gotten fully to the NBC being sued and losing $30 million because they slandered a judge in Georgia. But I will hopefully get to that. In the meantime, let's grab a quick phone call. Let's go to Jeff calling from Herndon, Virginia. Jeffrey, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
Yeah, hello, Chris.
Hey,
thanks
Jeff.
for taking my call.
You bet. Welcome.
Oh, my God, I'm trying to process all this stuff you're talking about. It's like, I got whiplash.
I understand.
Although none of it's a surprise. I'm comforted, though, that they found another candidate that we can beat in New York City.
Yeah, the yellow hoodie wearing crowd.
Oh, my God. Although I'm so, what a crazy world. Hey, your earlier discussion about the guy speaking in front of the school board and getting shut down, and then you got the representative in Maine, who was basically canceled. The first one, I actually spoke last night at a school board, and I kind of get the decorum thing. You can't point it out. Can't point individuals out. Although I didn't see that guy transgress gravely. I saw more the incompetence of the school board member not really explaining well what was going on, but than anything else. But these people are so audacious and blatant in their anti-American destruction that it's hard to maintain your composure. We got to try, but it is amazing. Although I'm still trying to get my head around how that representative got canceled. But I do want to comment that one of your last guy, he was taking about, we got to vote these people out. And, one of my favorite subjects I spend a lot of time on, and I'd love to see the majority be loud on this. The silent majority needs to be loud on election integrity. Because there's no doubt in my mind. These people are in power. I look at all of the Fairfax County School Board, and I'm thinking, it is chock full of there's not even any moderate Democrats on that board. We lost them the last election. There was about 4. I didn't necessarily agree with them, but they were moderates. They were normal people with some, goofy old school Democrat ideas that bounce around their heads.
Uh-huh.
These people are not.
No.
This board is chock full of extremists. And how did they get there? Because we didn't put them in there. So election integrity is the answer, and everybody's got to yell about that one.
They shouldn't be allowed on the New York City subway system either.
True. I didn't let them go up there, though. It wasn't my call.
I don't even know how do you get barred from the New York City subway system? That's got to be a heavy lift there. As just for today, anybody with a yellow hoodie shouldn't be allowed on that. They got two guys in yellow hoodies picking over the dead body of a homeless person. Like, hey, he's probably got something good to steal. Yeah, pull his pants back up, though. Somebody give him a hanky, for God's sake. Democrat people. Jeff, thank you for the call. I'm sorry the clock continues to attack me today. Why does the clock attack me like this? Why? Thank you, Jeff, and thank you for going to the school board meeting and, being normal. Remember normal. Man, oh, man. You know that the all-new Eden Pure Thunderstorm air purifier has finally arrived on the scene. This new thunderstorm uses two different technologies that studies have proven help to kill up to 99.9% of bacteria floating in the air, gobbles up dust and pet stuff and a whole lot more in the air, and helps get rid of any odor as well. Also, no filters to have to buy and replace over and over again. You can hold an Eden Pure Thunderstorm in your hand. They're only this big. I'm holding up my hand. The Thunderstorm, get rid of stinky smells guaranteed. Litter boxes, trash cans, left-wing protesters, cigarette smoke, no match for the Eden Pure Thunderstorm. And right now, you can save $200 on an Eden Pure Thunderstorm 3-pack for a whole home protection. Put one in your basement, your teenager's room, any place you like to breathe clean, fresh air. And all you have to do is go to EdenPureDeals.com, where you use the discount code CHRIS3, Chris and the number 3, to save $200 because we hang out together. That is EdenPureDeals.com. The discount code is CHRIS3. Yes, sir. Yeah, I don't know what's going on in this country. Well, I do, actually. It's the left. They call themselves Democrats. But sadly, I have more on them coming up. And also on trade with communist China and, versus the White House, the war on tariff.
I'm sorry, but negative comments will not be allowed. I don't have to explain it to you.
Chris here with a list of things that none of us should trust. The Washington Post, the New York Times, anything on CNN. Here's a list of things that I do trust. The Washington Times. Support real journalism for just $1 a week at WashingtonTimes.com/Chris. Yeah, I think this is fun. I'm happy that on Capitol Hill in the Senate, radical left-wing Politico with the headline, Ted Cruz, Senate panel mulls permanent daylight saving time. Sure, permanent daylight saving time. I'm in favor of that. And the headline, Stop the Clock. GOP, Dems come together to end daylight saving over health, because, Democrats very concerned about health and homeless people on the New York City subway. Economic risks. It's time to figure this out, said Democrat Senator Lisa Blunt. Lisa Blunt. Who? She's got a married name, too. Lisa Blunt Rochester. Oh, Rochester. So pretty amazing. I think it's good that they're talking about it, at least. And we should have a discussion about it, because it's very disruptive twice a year. And it should be, daylight for longer, going through dinner time and the cocktail hour. I think everyone would agree with that, right? On a rooftop having margaritas, it's better if it's sunset and not total darkness. Who doesn't know that? Any school child can tell you that. Democrats they operate the New York City subway system, and they brought the moral code to the city of New York and to the New York City school system, and they leave mentally ill homeless people on the street to fend for themselves and to die. And if Daniel Penny, a former United States Marine, should intervene to protect women in public from crazy, mentally ill, violent people, then the Democrats try to put Daniel Penny in prison for years and years, because they're still a lynch mob, as they've always been. Completely insane. And this New York City story, it's the stuff that the news media won't report. It is not very tasteful, I've got to say, the whole thing, but this is the Democrat Party. This is what you get when you let the left run a city into the side of a mountain. Pretty amazing stuff. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now let me get to these dim-witted Democrats, because they support Hamas. They wear their Hamas headdresses. They riot. They burn. They loot. They assassinate. They praise assassins like Luigi Mangione. They take over and destroy. Now 12 out of all the riots in the United States over the last couple of years, anti-Israel riots. Now 12 students will be charged in Santa Clara, California, where they've already announced that they'll only be sentenced for their many felonies to community service, to community, where they doubtless have to dedicate their volunteer efforts to Hamas or something, because that'll make it better. But I got to tell you, now the Democrats, it's very important for the Democrats that the economy be bad in the United States of America. They want a bad economy in the United States because a bad economy is good for the Democrat Party. All they care about is their political fortunes, right? And when it comes to the economy, they care about Mahmoud Khalil being free to propagandize people into being Nazi-like, genocidal, racist, anti-Semites. They're fine with that. But they're completely crazy. They must have a bad economy, because a bad economy is good for the Democrat Party. And they're doing everything they can. Every Democrat yesterday voted against the bill that made it through the House of Representatives. Every Democrat to fund the government and budget but that's Trump's agenda. So every single filthy, rotten, firebombing, cross-dressing, transgender Democrat voted against it in the House of Representatives. And they're pounding the table, and they're angry. They're making Molotov cocktails late at night in somebody else's garage. And all this stuff, just crazy. Now, let me get to some Democrats yesterday. Elon Musk, who they used to love and now want to assassinate, was at 48% of Democrats in that survey that Rutgers University put out. 48% of Democrats would be happy to see Elon Musk assassinated. The same survey, 55% of Democrats would be happy to see Donald Trump assassinated. He's already been shot once. Another would-be assassin on trial this week, or beginning the court proceedings anyway. And the Democrats want to see more of that. They love Luigi Mangione because he gunned down a healthcare company executive on the sidewalks of New York, and they applaud that. They literally applaud that. Now, let's go to the Democrats, because they don't want to stop waste, fraud, and abuse. They want more waste, fraud, and abuse, because this is a clue when they're supporting waste, fraud, and abuse. They're supporting waste, fraud, and abuse, and they support waste, fraud, and abuse by fighting against anyone that wants to stop waste, fraud, and abuse. They're crazy. They're the left. They're insane. But if people are fighting against waste, fraud, and abuse, and you're fighting against them, then you are fighting in favor of more waste, fraud, and abuse. That's a pretty simple equation, right? So here is Hakeem Jeffries, raised by a virulent anti-Semite himself, Professor Leonard Jeffries, and his uncle, famous anti-Semite, Professor Leonard Jeffries, who was a mentor to Hakeem Jeffries growing up, the lead Democrat in the House of Representatives. And he is against stopping, even fighting, even combating waste, fraud, and abuse. The lead Democrat in the House of Representatives is in favor of more waste, fraud, and abuse.
Donald Trump and extreme MAGA Republicans are doing everything they can to tank our economy and gut the health care of the American people, all in service of enacting massive tax breaks for their billionaire donors like Elon Musk.
Right. Yeah. And for health care, you guys fixed health care, didn't you, with Obamacare? Didn't that go great? Didn't that make everything better? Made my insurance quadruple, my best girl's insurance quadruple, and didn't make health care any better, just made it one hell of a lot more expensive. You know, the old line, who was it, P.J. O'Rourke, who famously said, you think health care is expensive now, just wait till it's free. And that was a funny truism way back then, and the Democrats, still Bolsheviks that they are, they've got a Democrat radical from Texas named Greg Casar, and it's not Caesar, it's Casar, and Greg Casar is a Democrat. All they want to do is tear down. They have no proposals, no recommendations. When they do, it makes matters worse, like Obamacare, like open borders, like keep the gang members here, like go to El Salvador and get the MS-13 gang member and bring him back here. That's the Democrat Party. more murder for everyone. The Democrat Party. Democrat Paul Kasar.
50 days from today, Donald Trump must, by law, fire Elon Musk. Last night,
that's wrong.
76 House Democrats sent a clear message to President Trump. The clock is ticking.
Yeah, and then you guys start firebombing stuff again because you're firebombing Elon Musk. You know, these Tesla dealerships are not owned by Elon Musk. They're owned by car dealers who own car dealerships. And the Democrat Party, with the approval of the New York Times and CNN, the Democrats are firebombing Molotov cocktails, shooting them up with rifles. And those are businesses owned not by Elon Musk, but like any other car dealership, they're owned by men and women and families that own and operate car dealerships. It's a good business to be in until the Democrats start firebombing you and shooting you up because they're communist pig dogs violence. And I think I said Paul Kasar. It's Greg Kasar of Texas. And he's not. And see, this temporary employee status, which Elon Musk has 130 days. And then he doesn't have to be fired like this criminal said. It expires. And then you know what you do if he wants to stay and be a genius helping the American people, then you find another avenue. Maybe you give him a different job title. The Democrats are masters of trickery. Surely they know there are 1,000 ways to keep him on, criminals that they are. Greg Kasar.
A special government employee like Musk must leave the federal government after 130 days.
Not be fired.
That means that 50 days from today, Donald Trump must fire Musk.
Lie.
50 days from today, Musk's reign of terror must end.
You guys should stop shooting people and praising assassins and stop firebombing things and chasing Jews off of campuses while you call everybody Nazis and say there's a reign of terror. You are the reign of terror, and you have been for 100 years. You're nothing but commie pig dogs. Schweinhund. Then there's a Democrat representative from New Mexico named Melanie Stanberry. Melanie Stanberry. And the rhetoric that these Civil War types spew is nuts.
We are putting you on notice, Elon Musk. You are fired. The American people are firing you, and you must clear out and get out of this office. Today, myself and Senator Warren are introducing legislation to ensure that this kind of corrupt abuse and grift and scam artists coming into the federal government through a special government employee can never happen again.
Well, it's in the law and code, and if you'd like to change it, you are a member of Congress, even though you're mentally incapable of managing the position. Pretty amazing stuff. Now, it is a special government employee, and there's a limit of 130 days on special government employees. The Democrats would make him the vice president of stealing stuff and the grift, and this rhetoric is just as incendiary. And, you know, we've played the audio of Elon Musk talking about all the death threats he's getting, and he kind of laughs it off. I think he pays for massive security detail with his own money because he doesn't want to be assassinated by Democrats. You know, Steve Scalise was shot by Democrats in an attempted mass political assassination, and Donald Trump was shot by a Democrat, and on and on. The list is a police officer, U.S. Capitol Police, William Evans. Billy Evans was murdered by a crazy Democrat racist who committed suicide in the act. The Democrat Party is a reign of terror because they're the left. They're not liberals. Another Democrat named Mark Takano. He's from California. We should have California break away. The governor there is already saying he's going to cut independent foreign policy. He's got his own foreign policy and trade deals between California and other countries. We should kick him out of the union and turn him over to the Sinaloa cartel, which they pretty much are already. Now, Democrat Congressman Mark Takano attacking they're just crazy about Elon Musk, who is volunteering to do good work, to look for waste, fraud, and abuse. And listen to the Democrats supporting waste, fraud, and abuse by attacking anyone that would oppose and fight against waste, fraud, and abuse.
If the Trump administration refuses to fire him, It's not just unethical.
Fire him.
It is illegal. Breaking the law is not new to the Trump administration.
How about looting?
But I promise you that I and every single one of my colleagues on this stage
communist
will not stand for it.
Yeah, I bet you
It's
won't.
time to fire Elon Musk.
When I say fire, I assume it means firebomb, because the Democrats they're crazy with fire, like children. I was fascinated with fire when I was a child. I will confess, and I won't get into all the details there. But these people are dangerously mentally ill people. A Democrat representative from California, Las Rivas.
Our message today is very clear.
Elon
Musk needs to go. The law is also very clear.
Days.
In 50 days, Elon Musk needs to be out of the office, and for the good and well-being of our country.
Then why are you wetting your undergarments today when there are 50 days, which is a month plus 2/3 of a month? That's quite a lot of time in Washington years. Isn't that amazing? Another communist, anti-American, fraud Democrat member of Congress, also from California, Robert Garcia. We've got a friend in town named Robert Garcia. It's not this Robert Garcia. It's a different Robert Garcia. I apologize to him. And if you, one of the most successful men, maybe the most successful man on the planet, you volunteer to come help the American taxpayer by contributing your considerable brain power to an effort to save the American people money. And Robert Garcia, he is just these people.
Elon Musk has no business serving the government, the president, and all he does is continue to damage himself.
No business.
And damage our country.
Serving the government.
Elon Musk must be fired today.
He has no business serving the government. The most successful man on the planet has no business serving the government. He must be fired today. While Democrats are promising to murder him, a survey shows that nearly 50% of Democrats would like to see him killed, assassinated. The Democrat Party is a cancer on humanity, and they're a danger to civilization.
Zach, I think they actually want to kill me. They say so online. There's like Reddit forums where they don't just want to kill me, they want to desecrate my corpse.
Yeah, like the guy on the subway in New York. And now we know that they'll do it too, because this party it's not a party at all. It's not like where you have Cheetos and cold beer. This is a different group altogether. I think the New York City, so if we're looking for any story that represents the Democrat Party today better than any other story we have today, it's definitely the New York City subway. There's no doubt about that. Is the Democrat Party in a nutshell. You know that this country was built on hard work. Everyone knows that. And grit. Whether you're standing long hours every day, running errands, chasing the kids, maybe just doing your part to keep the world turning on its axis every day, you shouldn't have to deal with fatigue and foot pain and ankle pain. And that is where G-Defy shoes come in. G-Defy shoes built with patented VersaShock technology. The FTC, Federal Trade Commission, has authorized G-Defy to tell you and me and all of us that their shoes help to relieve minor occasional pain associated with walking, running, and prolonged periods of standing. G-Defy shoes help to absorb harmful shock. They align your body, improve your biomechanics, and return energy with every step that you take. My best girl and I, we've got pairs of G-Defy shoes. They sent us. Wonderful. Make your arches feel good after a long walk. Right now, because you hang out with me, you get 50% off any order of $120 or more by texting Chris to 91888. Or you can go to Al Gore's Amazing Internet to gdefy.com and just use the code Chris. That's me. Code is Chris at 91888 or gdefy.com. With G-Defy's 60-day risk-free trial, you've got nothing to lose and everything to gain. Message and data rates apply. Yes, sir. Yeah, all right. The clock is ticking, and it's Friday afternoon. What kind of crazy can we pack in before the clock runs out? I had to say, we've Elon Musk, possibly the smartest man in the world. has volunteered his time to come fight against waste, fraud, and abuse of U.S. taxpayer dollars. And the Democrat Party is waging a suicidal death cult jihad against anybody that would fight against waste, fraud, and abuse. So they're obviously champions of waste, fraud, and abuse. They want more waste, fraud, and abuse, the Democrat Party, which would be a clear indication that they are benefiting from and orchestrating waste, fraud, and abuse. Aren't they amazing? All right, let's it's Friday. Let's talk to the nice people. Let's go to the phones and to Rod, calling from Arkansas. Oh, Rod, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
Mr. Plant.
Hey, buddy.
It's apparent why they're terrified of Elon. Why they're terrified of Donald Trump. Those accounts are going somewhere. They got a number. My wife, she's retired. It goes directly into our bank. There's a routing number there. All we got to do is check the routing numbers on some of them checks and see if they're not, going to some of the same places, which is how they raised $300 million to do a campaign that nobody actually wants to donate to.
Well, honestly, I don't know how much more shamelessly obvious they can be if you, Elon Musk, richest man in the world, incredibly, ridiculously successful person, an immigrant to the United States from Africa. He's an African American, and he wants to help the U.S. taxpayers to, not be ripped off, to not be robbed, to not have the coffers cleaned out when we're already $36 trillion in debt. And their opposition to him, who, again, they used to love him such a short time ago, and now they're on a suicidal death cult jihad against him, which can only mean that they support more waste, fraud, and abuse. Right, Rod?
That's right. I mean, Elon, check the accounts, buddy. Go see where that money is going, and you'll find out why part of our Congress is all for waste, fraud, and abuse.
Yeah, that's right. And look at Nancy Pelosi's Wall Street dealings, too. But if you're against Musk, you're for waste, fraud, and abuse.